As you know, we have a set of learning objectives. Let's see what we have lined up for us today. We start off by learning CAD drawing techniques, looking at describing the various drawing tools available to us on AutoCAD. We apply these drawing tools, as well as describe various modification and editing tools, before ending off our lesson by applying the various modification tools in AutoCAD. A really tech-driven lesson, and one that I'm sure you're going to enjoy. But before we do get in, let's take a look at the quote that I have lined up for you. By concentrating on precision, one arrives at technique. But by concentrating on technique, one does not arrive at precision. And this lends itself directly to what we are looking at today. We need to concentrate on precision. Our drawings and our technical drawings are all geared around precision. Precision, 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 the key to technical drawing. What are you going to need for today's lesson? Well, exactly the same as last lesson. You are going to need to make sure that you have your computer with your free trial version of AutoCAD already downloaded, as we learned how to do this in last lesson. And then obviously a good or decent Wi-Fi connection or internet connection. Please, please, please do not go out and purchase a brand new computer just for these lessons. It's really not necessary. I recommend that you continue using your trial version, the one that we looked at downloading in our previous lesson, until you are 100% sure that this is the program that you are going to want to carry on with, and one that is going to be useful to you on your interior design journey. What can you expect for today's lesson? Topic 1 is all about an introduction to CAD as we build on some of the core ideas we learned about in our previous lesson. Topic 2, we start to learn the drawing tools from our ribbon. So remember, we looked at our CAD interface. We now tackle that in a little bit more detail as we pick out the drawing tools. Following that with topic 3, picking out our modification tools. Starting off with our first topic of the day, an introduction into AutoCAD. We're going to recap some of the elements that we covered in our last lesson, like AutoCAD Interface, and use this to build up our AutoCAD basic skill set. The first question I have for you for today is, what does CAD stand for? Last lesson, we looked at this concept in a great amount of detail. What is CAD and what does it stand for? Can anyone remember? Pop your answers into your Morpheus text box or make a note for yourselves in your sketchbooks. Let's make sure that you're on solid footing as we recap what we looked at in last lesson. CAD stands for Computer Aided Design, and it's literally all in the name. CAD, as we've learned, means to use various programs on our computers to help us in drawing and visualizing our projects from start to finish. In this industry, the interior design industry, and so many others, CAD programs are our primary drawing tools. They assist us in producing accurate professional drawings for our clients and the contracting teams that will be working on our projects. CAD is the process of using these computers to assist us in our design process. CAD helps us create drawings right from the basic concept phase to the final completion stage. CAD also enables, and really importantly, the conversation from a computer model to the final manufactured piece. So in essence, we're taking drawings from computer and creating them into reality. Think about it like this. Before your house is even built, it's merely a drawing on a little piece of paper. From here, it gets converted into reality. How is it done? Directly from our CAD drawings. Right, so from here, there are some very valid reasons that we have migrated from sketching, creating our drawings manually, to generating our professional technical drawings on computer. Let's take a look at some of the benefits of using computers to assist us in the design process. And we start off with number 1, speed. The speed and output of our drawings is much faster and much higher on a CAD program than creating our drawings manually. Next, we have accuracy. Accuracy, creating your drawings on computer-aided software such as AutoCAD, Revit, or even SketchUp have high accuracy levels. In fact, it takes 1/10 of the time it would take to create them by hand. Thirdly, the replication possibilities. Replication of a drawing or overlaying, creating layers on top of layers, is much easier on CAD. Copying drawings or placing details and drawings over each other like your overlay is much simpler and easier. And therefore, you aren't needing to redraw drawings like you would when creating drawings manually or by hand. This also results in a rapid output of drawings. Next, we have the saving capacity, and this is a really big benefit. Drawings can be saved to be read at any point, at any time, at any location. Drawings can be printed or plotted from a drawing on your screen with intense and immense accuracy. And the best part about this is that the space required to store these drawings on your computer is a fraction, if nothing, of the space required to store your drawings manually, the drawings that you would have created on paper. And number 5, one of my favorite benefits, the scaling ability CAD has. Drawings are accurately scaled, and remember, accuracy is key with technical drawings, to any scale at any point at any time with a simple click of the button. You don't have to redraw anything like you would be when creating drawings manually. You don't even have to use your scale rulers. A huge benefit. Parts of the drawing can also be redrawn in any case for any design purposes. Both new and old revisions can be saved to one location as well, so that you can reference back and record at any time. As you know, and as we've learned, there are many CAD programs that you can choose as designers to assist you in creating your professional technical drawings. Some of the more common ones in our industry are your AutoCAD and Revit by Autodesk, as well as SketchUp and 3D Max. For the purposes of this course, however, our journey, and one that I recommend we start with, begins with AutoCAD. This is going to be our primary drawing output program, as the majority of employers nowadays are looking for their designers to have a solid background in AutoCAD. So that is exactly what I'm going to show you. AutoCAD is a commercial computer-aided software design program, CAD, and drafting software application. It was developed and marketed by the company called Autodesk. AutoCAD is capable of producing any technical drawing, no matter how complicated, as long as it's in the hands of a skilled operator. AutoCAD is by far the most popular of all CAD programs. There are more CAD workstations equipped with AutoCAD throughout the world than any other package. AutoCAD can produce both 2D and 3D drawings, which makes it a huge benefit in our industry. In our last lesson, we looked at how to download your AutoCAD program. I hope that you've all done this and you've pinned the icon to your toolbar as I've showed you. We are now going to dive into the depths of this lesson as we start opening up our drawings and work with our drawing tools. Let's do a quick recap of how to open the AutoCAD drawing program. Firstly, you want to navigate to the icon on your desktop and double click on it to open, as you can see I'm doing. Wait for the program to open. Give it a couple minutes. Remember, it's a very large program and requires a lot of power from your computer. Once the program is opened, as you can see, this is the screen you'll get. You want to select the application menu, the A, select New, and then you want to open. The first file template that opens there, you're just going to double click on that and then click open. Your drawing screen should now look something like this, as you can see on your screen. Ready to start your drawing work on CAD. On a side note, please don't fear if your drawing background is not black like mine. AutoCAD has a white and black background option that I'm going to show you how to change as you like. So then how do we go about changing our background color? This may vary from person to person. Some people might like a darker background color to work on with a light line, and some people might like a light background color with a darker line. My preference is dark, but it's totally up to you. So let's see how it's done. Starting off by right-clicking on our screen and selecting options. Navigate to your drawing screen as I've done, right-click, and at the bottom of the tab you can see options, select that. Step number 2 is to go to your drafting tab, as you can see I've done in blue. Select that and then select your colors tab on the left-hand corner. From here, we move on to selecting 2D model space. Step number 3, as you can see, it's already been selected for us in the left corner. Step number 4 is to go and select our color. So click on the color selection tab. And from here, you can select almost any color you want your background screen to be. So I'm going to select white to show you what it looks like. And that's what a white background looks like. If you're happy with that, you move on to step number 5 and select apply and close. I'm going back to black because I think black works best for me. And then I select apply and close. And then when this tab comes up, I'm going to just select OK. And there you have it. That's how you change your background color. Now that our screen is opened, let's do a quick recap on what exactly we're looking at. Starting off with the AutoCAD interface. On your screen is a typical AutoCAD workspace setup, so the same that we covered in our last lesson. And below are some of the headings that make up this interface. The interface is exactly what we're looking at, the components that make up the face of your AutoCAD workspace. So let's take a look. Firstly, we have our drawing area. As you know, that's in the center of the screen. And as we've just seen, you can make that a black interface drawing area or a white drawing area. Secondly, we've got our application menu. That's where everything happens, the start and the beginning of your whole drawing. We then have the ribbon, an incredibly important element to our drawings. This is the area that allows us to draw, modify, make elements into groups, change layers, etc. We then have the command window. This is the location that you would type in a command for your drawings. Maybe you're wanting to draw a line, you would type in line. Maybe you want to select something, you would type select here. So this is if you can't find anything on your ribbon tab, you would type into your command line and it would bring up a couple of options for you. Then we've got the navigation toolbar. This is exactly what it sounds like. The bar that will assist you in navigating through your drawing. You'll find elements such as zoom, pan, rotate, and camera view in this area. Then we have the status bar. At the bottom of the screen is the status bar. It's a bar that contains icons and shortcuts or commands that provide quick access to some of the most commonly used drawing tools. So this is going to come in handy quite a lot. But for now, this is an idea of what your AutoCAD interface should look like. And these are the really important key headings that we're going to be looking at. Now that we've got our drawing page open and we're ready to start working with some of our tools, we're going to look at how to move around the screen using your mouse. It sounds simple, right? Well, this is something that I find most people and something that I've struggled with right from the beginning, as it's a little bit different and something unusual to a standard computer program. Let's take a look at some of the navigation elements that we're going to cover, starting with simply zooming in. To zoom in, you take your mouse and you scroll up. We then have to zoom out, and that's the opposite. You simply scroll outwards or downwards with your mouse. We then might want to move around the screen. To do this, you need to hold down the wheel of the mouse and drag it around your screen. That's going to grab the page and drag it around. Next, we have to accept a command. Maybe you're wanting to draw a line from left to right, so you select the line command, you draw from left to right. You now need to accept that command. You click enter on your keypad. Let's say we finished that line command and we want to end it or escape the line command. We simply click escape at the top left-hand corner of our keyboard. Now, this is a command that you're going to want to keep handy at all times. You've made a mistake, you've drawn way too many lines, now you want to undo. Very simple, Control-Z. And there you have it. That is how you navigate around your screen. Let's take a look at how that's done as I give you a quick example. Firstly, to zoom in, you're going to take your mouse and scroll the wheel up. So zoom in. And then to zoom out, you're going to do the opposite. Scroll the wheel of the mouse downwards. Scroll in and scroll out. Now you're going to move from side to side. So what you're going to do is you're going to click the mouse wheel down till you get that hand figure. And then you simply move your mouse from side to side and around. That is how you move from side to side and move your page around. Next, we're going to enter a command. So I'm going to draw a simple line on your screen. As you can see here on the left, I'm going to click the finishing point and enter selects the command or approves the command. Then we want to escape. So I'm going to start drawing a circle and then I'm going to click escape on my keyboard and it exits the command. Now I'm going to show you how to undo. Simply go Control-Z, click Control-Z and the line disappears. And that is how to navigate your screen. Next, I'm going to show you how to make a selection. So this may seem really simple and a really simple task, which it is, but there are two methods of selection which is going to make your life so much easier. Let's take a look at what they are. Firstly, we've got selection from left to right and selection from right to left. So your selection option from right to left is going to select only what is enclosed inside the blue box. So as you can see on your screen, the little left to right icon, a little blue box will come up. Only elements that are sitting totally within that blue box will be selected. Then we have the selection tool from right to left. This is going to select anything that comes into contact with the green box. So as you can see, the little circle sitting outside the green box, there's two circles. those will be selected as well. However, if you select that circle from right to left, giving you the same sized box, those circles will not be selected. Let's see how that's done. Right, so option 1, right to left, the selection box. As you can see, it's blue and it's only going to select the elements that are sitting totally within. Then I'm going to show you option 2, which is left to right. This is the green selection, a dashed outer line as well. Anything that comes into contact with this green box, it doesn't necessarily need to be totally covered, will be selected. Right, so let's take a look. I'm going to draw a couple of circles on your screen, just randomly. Now I'm going to click on my screen, left click, and drag my mouse across the screen. As you can see, only the circles that were sitting totally encapsulated in that blue box were selected, and now I'm clicking delete. Now I'm going to do the right to left selection, option 2, click on the right-hand corner of my screen, drag my box across, and click to enter the command. And as you can see, anything sitting in proximity to that green box was selected. Now I'm doing the green box again. As you can see, anything sitting in close proximity to that green box is being selected. I don't need to totally cover the circle with the green box. But with the blue box, I do have to cover the entire object. But before we go any further, I want to give you a little sneak peek into what you can expect for lesson 6. We are going to start space planning our projects as we look at the exciting topic of space planning. We're going to look at what space planning really is as we investigate some of the important features and methods of accurate space planning. We're going to look at how to bubble diagram and color block to optimize the space before ending off by looking at some of the space planning projects and space planning your very own interior project. Make sure that you're ready for this lesson with our AutoCAD basics, as they're going to come in really handy. But you're going to have to wait until lesson 6. So let's move back to the second topic for today's lesson, the drawing tools. Now that we have the basics sorted, opening the drawing, changing the background, saving the drawing, and moving around, we need to look at some of the most important features, your drawing tools. The paintbrush to your artist, the whisk to the chef. Let's take a look at the ribbon. What is the ribbon? Can anyone tell me? Think back to your last lesson. Type your answers into your Morpheus text box or make a note for yourself in your sketchbooks. This could be an assignment question. So we did touch on the ribbon in your last lesson. The ribbon is a user interface element that contains various AutoCAD commands arranged in a panel of tabs or a tool tab. It's the central location for all of your AutoCAD commands, the tool set, if you will. The tab is very powerful. It has all the panels of commands as well as options relating to any task that you need performed on your drawing. On this ribbon on your screen in pink, as you can see, there are various sections that have been broken down on your ribbon. Some of these sections include the drawing section, modification section, block section, group, layers, etc. These are all sections that are going to assist you in creating your drawing. Right, so now having had a look at the ribbon, let's break it up into its categories. Your ribbon can be broken down as follows. Firstly, we've got the drawing section, the modification section, an annotate section, we've got a layers section, a property section, block section, and group section. Here's what that all looks like on your screen, starting off with our drawing section. As you can see, there's a little tab at the bottom of your drawing section. It's called Draw. And then in there, on that tab, you've got a variety of tools that you can use to create your drawing. Then we've got your Modify section. Those are all the tools you'd use to modify your drawing. Annotate section. They are all your tools to be able to annotate a drawing, add labels and notes. Then we've got your Layers property section, followed by Properties of the drawing. Next to that, you've got a section called Block. That's your block section. And then we've got Groups. And then your Utilities, Clipboard, and View towards the ends. As you can see, these are all the sections that make up your AutoCAD ribbon. From here, we're going to break up each of these areas or sections in a little bit more detail as I show you the most important tools relating to each of these areas. Obviously, there are so many areas and tools available to you on AutoCAD and on this program, but as we are beginners, and this is a crash course, we are going to tackle the tools that are most important to us for our drawing work. Let's take a look as we start off with the Drawing tab. This is the very first section on your ribbon, your drawing section, and this is where you, as the artist, is going to find your paintbrushes. This is the section, the drawing area on your ribbon, where you're going to find your drawing tools. These are the shapes that are going to be used to construct your drawing. As you can see on your screen, there are a variety of tools in this section that you may find useful. However, as I've just mentioned, we are going to focus on the following. Firstly, we have a line tool. We've got a polyline tool. We've got your circle tool, your rectangle, and your hatch tool. These are the most important tools when starting off your drawing. A little handy tip, escape, as we've just learned, and as I showed you before, will end a command. So once you pick one of these tools and you start drawing in it, don't forget to click escape when you're wanting to move on to the next tool. Right, so let's take a look as I break down each of these elements. You will notice that if I hover my mouse over each or any of these elements, a little window will pop up providing a detailed explanation of the function of each icon. This is really handy when you're feeling a little bit lost. So let's take a look. I'm navigating to my drawing tab or my drawing section, hovering over the line, and there you have it. It explains to us exactly what each element does. Same with the polyline. Then I move to my circle, I hover over that, and a tab comes up explaining what that does. And so on and so forth. Right, so now that we know we're in our drawing tab, let's start off with our line tool. What is the line tool? So that is what your line tool looks like on your interface or your ribbon. It's a simple line with an annotation below saying line. This tool is what you would use to create a simple line. The line tool can be used to create single lines or a variety of lines in a combination to construct a shape. So this is how you'd begin your drawing. A handy tip here, you would select the line tool with your mouse and that would automatically activate the command, the line command. Let's take a look at how to use the line tool. So firstly, you're going to navigate to your drawing area on your ribbon, and then you are going to select the line tool. So hover over it. I've selected the tool. By clicking on the icon, you're activating the command. So in this case, you're activating the line command. Right, so now I'm on my drawing screen. I'm clicking at the point I'd like to start my line. And then I click again in the middle of the screen where I want to end my line. You're going to repeat this until you have the line or shape that you're trying to create. So you can type in any numerical value as well to create this line. Let's see how that's done. So I'm going to start by clicking down, and then I'm putting in 800, and that's the length I want that line. I'm now clicking 1500, and that's the length I want that line. And then I'm joining it to create my square. And that's my line tool. Next, we have our polyline tool. And that's what your polyline tool looks like on your ribbon and your drawing section. The polyline tool is a very similar concept to your line tool. So they both are going to create a line. However, the polyline allows you to add additional lines together to create one component. So you're not going to have any breaks in that shape. This tool is going to work in a very similar manner to your line tool. You're going to start your line by clicking on your screen, dragging your mouse down, and you can type in a numerical value that you wish to have your line length at. So you're going to type in the value, the numerical value, and then you're going to click enter to accept the command. And then don't forget, escape on your keypad to exit the command. Let's take a look at how that's done. Right, so you're going to navigate to your drawing window on your ribbon, click the polyline command. By clicking it, you are going to activate this command. So in this case, you're activating the polyline command. From here, you're going to move to the drawing screen, click in the screen where you want to start your line and move the mouse to the end point. You can click again to create a line. Alternatively, you can start typing with your numbers, your numerical values, the length and width, or just the length that you want your line to be. You're going to repeat this until you have your line or shape that you're wanting to create. Then we have the circle tool, and that's what your circle tool looks like in your toolbox in your drawing area. It's a simple circle with an annotation below saying circle. Remember, if you hover over that icon, it'll explain exactly what that tool set does for you. This tool is as simple as it sounds. It's a tool that you're going to use to create circles on your drawing. Something to remember with this tool, that you're always specifying or using this to create a circle from the center outwards. So remember, we're not creating circles outside in, you're creating circles inside out. Let's take a look and see how that's done. Firstly, again, you're going to navigate to the circle icon on your ribbon on the drawing section. You're going to select it by left clicking. Now you're going to navigate to your drawing screen. And so this is really important to remember with your circle. The circle is created, like I said, from the center point always. So you're going to click on the screen to start the circle command, as I've done. And as you see, it's moving outwards. It's then going to ask you to type in a figure. It's going to ask you for the figure from center to outer point. So I'm typing in 300. And so my circle radius is going to be 300. As you can see, I'm repeating this a couple of times. My outer circle radius is going to be 900. And that is how you create the circle. The next tool we're going to look at is your rectangle tool. And this is an amazing tool because it allows you to create a rectangle without having to draw each line separately. On your screen, as you can see, the pink arrow is indicating what the rectangle tool looks like. This is on your tool set on your drawing section. Handy tip here, you can type in the exact size of your rectangle and click enter, and it creates the exact shape that you're wanting to create. So in essence, this tool is used to create rectangles, and you use a dimension for each side to create this exact rectangle. Let's take a look at how it's done. You are going to start by navigating to your ribbon, to the drawing section, and find the rectangle tools. As you can see, I'm navigating there, I'm hovering over it to get an idea of what my rectangle tool actually does. It describes it really nicely for us there. Right, so from here, I'm going to navigate to my drawing screen. I'm going to start by left-clicking to begin the command where I'd like to start the rectangle, dragging my mouse right across the screen to where I'd like to finish my rectangle, and then left-click again to end or finish the command, select the command. Right, so we're going to take this up a notch. Select your rectangle tool again, navigate to your drawing screen, and click to activate. You're going to see it's prompting you to put in a couple of figures. So I'm going to start with 300. I'm going to add a comma, and then I'm going to type my next numerical value at 900 and click enter on my keyboard. That is going to give me a rectangle of 300 by 900. Really nice and accurate, as you can see. Let's try another one. I'm going to do a 900 length by a 300 depth. And there we go, an absolutely accurate rectangle. This is such a nice feature because obviously we're striving for precision. Next tool we look at is our hatch tool. And as you can see on your screen, that is what it looks like. A little block with a couple of lines hatched inside it. So in essence, this tool is our coloring command. This is going to allow us to add texture or shape or value to an object. So this tool is going to allow you a variety of texture to color in your shape. And obviously what we're trying to do is bring that object as close as we can to the texture of reality. Right, so let's take a look at how this is done. I'm going to navigate to the hatch icon on my drawing section. Remember, if you hover over, it gives us a great idea of what it's able to do. So I'm going to select the command, activate the command by left clicking on that icon. I then navigate to where I want to hatch. What area am I wanting to color in? Right, so you've got two options here. You've got the pick a point option and your select option. Let's take a look at what each one does. So we'll start off by picking a point. So essentially what you're doing by picking a point is you're hovering over the area that you're wanting to hatch. So as you can see with my mouse, I'm hovering over to the outer part of the circle, left clicking, and that is hatching that area in. I'm then going to do the same for the center portion of the circle, because let's say I wanted that hatched too. I'm left clicking and that then gets hatched as well. And then I'm repeating that throughout the circle on the areas I want to hatch. Right. Let's take a look at our next option. Go back to hatch, left click. I'm going to click the select icon. Now this allows you to hatch everything within that selection. So anything inside that boundary line will be hatched, as you can see. If I want to deselect something out of the boundary line, I click on that outer boundary line as well, and it deselects that area. And then I do the same for the second circle. So now remember, I said we had a couple of options to hatching. AutoCAD allows us a variety of different textures. So as you can see, I'm navigating my mouse to the textures area. There's a little drop down and I'm clicking that. And those are all the options you have for adding hatch patterns. So maybe I wanted something to look concretey. There's a hatch pattern there for that. Maybe I wanted something to look like brick or steel or whatever the case. Those are your various hatch patterns. Right, so I now have a question for you. Before we go any further, take a moment to think about which of the following tools that we've just covered you would use to draw a single brick wall. Let's say you wanted to create a wall of 10 meters by 0,11. Just off the top of your head. Imagine you're sitting at your computer, drawing up a floor plan, or even better, open up your CAD program right now and think about which tools you would use to create this wall. Well, luckily for you, there is in fact no right or wrong answer here. That is the best part of this program. There's no set rule or regulation as to what tools you need to use to be doing anything at any given point. Whatever tools makes it easier for you to create that wall, you will then use. So in my case, I typically use a Polyline, as this is the tool that I'm most comfortable with, and I find it's the most flexible tool to be using. But you might choose to use the rectangle tool and type in your dimensions 10 by 0.11. I suggest that you give this exercise a try and practice all the various tools and tricks that we've covered. So some of the ones that you might look at are your line, your polyline, and even your rectangle tool, as you can see I'm doing on your screen. Good luck and have fun with this. Phew, that is quite a bit of information to process, am I right? But the bottom line is, and the main thing to focus on here, is that this drawing section is going to be your tool for creating every single one of your drawings. On your screen is a drawing that I have created using a variety of these commands. It's so super exciting to think that an entire building can be constructed from one drawing using a simple line and shape tool. With that being said, we are now going to move on to our modify tool. Our last topic for the day, the modify tool section. As the artist, this is your eraser or the water to your paintbrushes. On your screen, as you can see in the pink highlighted section, that is your modify tab. Those are all the tools that form a part of your modify section. This tool palette you would use when you're wanting to edit or modify something on your drawing. So maybe you're wanting to move a line or a shape. This is where you would come to. The tools in this palette are as follows. Firstly, we have a move tool. We've got an erase tool, a rotate tool, a copy tool, and an offset tool. And so as you can see, there's a variety of tools here, but these are typically the most common tools and ones that you're going to be using on the daily. Let's check them out in a bit more detail. On your screen, as you can see, I'm on the ribbon and I'm navigating to my modify section. That is your modify section. There you've got your move command. Then we have our erase command. We then have a copy command. And obviously the same thing applies here. Hovering over these commands will explain exactly what they do. There is your rotate command. And there we have our offset command. Let's break them up a little bit further. Starting off with our move tool. This is the tool that you use to move objects and elements around on your drawing. So as you can see, the pink arrow, that is the icon showing you move tool, the move tool. And this is a tool that you're going to use an awful lot when creating drawings. Right, so let's take a look at how that's done. We're going to start off by navigating to the modify area on your ribbon, as you can see. And you're going to select move. You're going to then navigate to your drawing page and select, we're going to use the circles as an example, and you're going to select the circle or element that you want to move. Left click on it. You're then going to click on your screen and then drag your mouse to the area that you want the object moved to. Let's try that again. Select move, select the object you want moved, click somewhere in the screen and drag your mouse to the area that you want that object moved. One more time. Select move, select the object, click on your screen, and then move. Right, easy as that. Now, once you've finished this, or once you've finished moving all of your objects across, you need to click spacebar or enter, as this is going to confirm and end the move. The next tool that we're going to look at is our erase tool. And as you can see, indicated by the pink arrow, it looks like a little pencil with an eraser at the end. This tool we use to remove or erase elements that you don't want on your drawing with a simple click. Right, so how do we use the erase tool? Navigate to the command or the ribbon, select on your erase tool. So you're going to left click to activate the command. Click on erase. Then you are going to navigate to the area on your drawing that you're wanting to erase with your block, as you can see, and you're going to select that area. Now, to make sure that you've approved the command, you're not only going to select the object, but you're going to click enter or spacebar to approve that on your keypad as well. Let's try that again. Select the object and enter to approve the command. Select the object and enter to approve the command. And that is exactly how you erase. By clicking on enter on your keypad, you're able to repeat any command as well. So once you've entered the command, simply click enter again to start that command again for the second time. Now we move on to the rotate tool. As you can see indicated by your pink arrow, it's a half a circle with an arrow on the top, and that is your rotate tool. This tool we're going to use to rotate, so you're going to rotate elements around within the drawing. You might rotate a couple of objects or the entire drawing, but this tool is going to help you rotate elements around. Right, so let's take a look at how it's done. I'm going to use the 3 lines on your screen as an example. We are going to start off by navigating to the rotate command on your modify panel. So as you can see, that's your modify, that's rotate, and I'm selecting. From here, I need to select the object that I need to rotate. It prompts you to do this. So I'm going to do my left to right selection, selecting the objects. From here, I need to approve the selection. How do I do that? I need to click enter or right click on my mouse. So I'm going to click enter on my keypad. And that enables the program, or tells the program, that I've selected those elements. From here, it says I need to specify a base point. So for this instance, I'm going to select the middle, and I'd like the objects rotated around that point. So the base point is telling me where the objects need to be rotated around. So I select the middle by left clicking. And a really handy tip here, or tool here, is that it allows me to manually rotate around that point. So as you can see, I can swing my mouse around, drop it at any location, and I've rotated. Another option here is to give a figure of rotation, so an angle that I need to rotate. So as you can see there, it says specify rotation angle. I'm going to type in the numerical value 90, so it's going to rotate to 90 degrees, and enter. And it automatically rotates those lines to 90 degrees for me. Really, really clever and a cool little handy tip. The next tool we look at, and a very important tool, one that you're going to be using an awful lot, is called the copy tool. And this simply means to copy objects from one area to another. This tool allows us to copy various elements of our drawing from one point to the next without distorting the drawing. And that's obviously vital when it comes to technical drawing. Let's see how this is done. So you're going to navigate to your modify section. You're going to select the copy tool, or hover over if you're wanting some more detail. After left clicking, you're now going to select the object you want to copy. So you're going to navigate to the object. I'm doing my left to right selection, and then I'm going to right click to enter or click enter. From here, I click on a base point, as you can see, and then move or drag my mouse along to where I want to copy that object to, and then I left click to accept or approve that copy. And then I'm doing that again. A handy tool here, as you can see, you can also select or type in a distance that you want the object copied across to. So instead of just randomly copying objects across, you can type in the distance. For instance, maybe you want to copy it 1 meter or 2 meters, you would type that figure in. Next, we have the offset tool. And as you can see highlighted by the pink arrow, that is what the icon looks like on your modify ribbon. This is quite an interesting tool, as it's a type of copy tool, but rather in the sense of distance. It offsets an object at a specific distance. Let's take a look and see how that's done. You're going to start off by navigating to the modify panel. From here, you're going to select or click on the offset icon, as you can see there, or hover over if you want some more details. It's then going to ask you to specify the distance that you want to offset it. So you can either type in a distance here, or you can draw a line indicating the distance. You then want to right click or space bar to confirm that. Remember, we need to approve all of our commands. You're then prompted to select the object that you need to offset. So you're going to click on that object and move your arrow to the distance or the area that you're wanting to offset it to. From here, you need to instruct the offset distance. You want the offset line to be shown exactly how to offset, internally here or externally. Once you've selected, you're going to click on the area that you're offsetting to. So I'm going to click above there, as you can see, or internally. So for me, I'm going to click internally. And as you can see, it's offset internally. And that's the concept of offset. Right, so now that we've covered all of our editing tools for today's lesson, can you tell me which of the above mentioned tools would we use to fix a line, so an error, that was too long on our drawing? You could use a move tool, an erase tool, or a copy tool. Which of these tools would you select? So you can either pop your answers into your Morpheus text box, or alternatively, and something that I'm suggesting, try this exercise on your own. And the answer you're looking for is to make use of the erase tool. It's going to completely remove the error and allow you to start again. A handy tip here, you could also try and use the Control-Alt-Z command, as this is going to allow you to go back to the point before you even made that error. So give both of them a try, otherwise your erase command is the one that you're looking for. Wow, and we've finally come to the end of lesson 4, a jam-packed lesson, but a really fun one at that. Let's do a quick recap. So firstly, we started off this lesson by learning some of the CAD drawing techniques. Following that, we described the various drawing tools available to us. We then applied those drawing tools in a fun tutorial example. From here, we described various modification and editing tools, and then we used those tools to edit our drawing.